the thing that even still comes up for me, it's like this ghost of this goblin of Fat Keith past is, you're sticking to the plan pretty well. And it's like this guy that wants to talk to me that says you can veer a little bit from the plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need a bag, bruh. Send it through quickly. I'm making his dog like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, I told him I'ma hit it out of stands. I deserve another 100.
Welcome to another episode of the Married Game Podcast. We are the voice you trust when it comes to lust, and we are who you hire when she lacks desire. I could tell you about one of my past girlfriends named Lucy, but rather instead, let's talk today about how to get jacked, tan, and juicy. Welcome, Carter Montgomery. What's up, bro?
What's up, brother? Thank you for having me, man.
This is my coach. You don't have to look at any of these cameras because we've got cameras everywhere.
Perfect.
But you're my coach. And I've had two people before you that were the predecessors to you that really helped me get ready for you. Laura was my mindset coach, and then my brother, John Matson, really helped me get in the mindset of understanding. Laura helped me to realize that I don't have to be judgmental about my physicality. I can get curious as to why. And John and his coaches were the first guys to ever get me to track anything in an app, macro-wise.
I love it.
And so I'm super grateful for them. But you have been this guy that I've hired the last like 9 or 10 months that has helped taken me into the land of shit. You look really good, Mr. Yaki. Well fucking done. And so that's why I'm having you here, and then why I want to collaborate with you on helping others get jacked, tan, and juicy as well. So welcome to the Man Cave. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you having me. And I like to call that taking things to the next level. And that's what I specialize in, is taking people from that point where they've gotten consistent with things, tracking their macros. You know, they have some of the foundational items dialed in. But in order to get that next level, we got to do next level shit. And that's what I do.
Yeah. And I've been inspired because you didn't just, you helped my best friend Garrett, whereas a lot of people see us as business partners and all that. But when it boils right down to it, Garrett's my best human friend on planet Earth other than Jesse. And so to watch my best friend go through his transformation and becoming what he's ultimately wanted to be, which was the next level.
Yeah. Not
just surfer guy that's got abs and looks like he might be on the Abercrombie thing. Now he looks like a fucking mountain of muscle, and he looks like a monster.
100%. And
it's so beautiful. And so I watched that happen. And then I'm like, okay, I'm watching these things happen. And it was you. Well, I'm just going to heap a bunch of praise on you. So, because I want the people to know that even I wasn't totally jacked, tan, and juicy, even when I was pulling a lot of beautiful women. And I even had Jesse, who was still obsessed with me as a human without having abs and veins. But now that I have abs and veins, everything has opened up. And what it did for me, and I'm watching not just my body change and not just, the way people interact with me change, but the opportunity for my actual business has radically changed, because they look at me and go, oh, this guy teaches about becoming the most attractive version of himself. Oh, he actually looks like he takes his body seriously now. And that was that final peg for me where I was like, I want to actually look the part, not just sound the part, but truly look what's going on. And dude, you've been the guy to help me get there. So thank you so very much, dude.
Absolutely, bro. And, seeing you come in and take everything so seriously and put so much intention into everything is what all of this takes.
Yeah.
And it's, like you said, it's that final piece of the puzzle for you.
Yeah.
And you knew that. Like, before we even started, you knew this was that final piece of the puzzle. So you came in with extreme intention. You took it seriously. You executed the fucking plan.
Yeah.
And just like anything, it's a journey. There's always going to be obstacles, but you executed it and you bring it all to life. And to see you just walk around a different man.
Yeah.
And to see you in person finally. And touch you and see you has just been amazing, man. I'm beyond proud of you.
Yeah, bro. Thank you, man. And what was really cool that I loved about us working together is you knew what my goals were. I said, hey, jujitsu is really important to me. And you had worked with jujitsu guys. So it wasn't like, I'm like, I've got a lot of muscle just because I've lifted weights in the past. I need to shed this fat. But I can't not do jujitsu because it's like a source of life for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just custom made, okay, well, no, then we needed this will work here. And then I said, hey, my elbows hurt. I'm not doing jujitsu for the next couple of weeks. Okay, well, then we need to adjust here. So the way you've been able to help me adjust has been really cool. And the way you helped shift my mind. There was two things, and I want to hear how you got into this and what made you be able to see things the way you see things. But the two things that I knew deep in my soul, that if I really wanted to get the body that I wanted, and I'm here at the body that I wanted, but now that I'm here at the body I wanted, there's another body I want.
You always move the goalposts. It never ends.
I'm like, okay, but dude, I want now this body. And I knew I needed to actually start tracking and really understanding my macros. And I knew I needed to stop relying on protein bars and protein shakes to be able to create that. So I knew that real food and actually tracking the real food was a thing. And so one of the things that you were able to do that literally has shifted my life that I think might be the greatest single thing that, like, in terms of, I no longer do the math for my food anymore. And you taught me that. You did the math. You sent it over to Chef Mark. Chef Mark built the food around your math. And then you said, just eat the shit that's in that container and don't eat anything else. Yep. Except a half a piece of cheesecake on a date night and maybe an espresso martini.
Exactly.
Other than that, don't fuck with the plan, dude. And it was literally hiring the chef to build that for me, hiring you to lay it all out, tell you my goals, and then just trust you because I've seen the results of everybody else you work with around me. And then hiring the chef, that actually gave me, I was able to solve the two things I knew I needed to solve, but I realized it wasn't me becoming a mathematician or a dietitian. 100%. And that was the hack that you literally unlocked for me. It's like, wait, you know the math. You spent all the years learning the math. I don't need to know the math. I just need to listen to what you tell me the math is. Yep. And then I don't have to fucking do a daily math check-in because there's a dude who will make me all the real food that fits the math. That's it.
But I always say this.
Oh my God, you changed my life, bro.
And that makes me so happy to hear. And that's exactly why I'm so passionate about what I do, is when stuff like this happens. And because I know how drastically my life has changed because of fitness, and seeing it happen for other people is just incredible. But what does a smart business owner do? They outsource. It's what it's all about. You need content made. You're not over here filming shit. You outsource it.
Yeah.
You need something done, you outsource. It's the same concept. You're a busy guy. You have a wife, you have children, you have a business you run, you have so many different things going on.
Yeah.
So adding more work or more shit to your plate is not going to allow you to be successful, and it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
So we have to figure out how to outsource these things. Again, give the blueprint, outsource a chef, do a meal prep company, whatever you need to do to streamline that whole process so you can take all of the thinking out of it and live your fucking life, handle the shit you need to handle. And next thing you know, you're crushing all these goals at the same time, simultaneously. Everything keeps moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh my God. It's people come to me and they're like, well, how did you do it? I go, I hired a guy for the math, and then he gave the math for the guy who makes the food. And then I just keep myself accountable to fucking just eat what's in that stuff.
100%.
And make sure I'm doing the thing. So one of the things that I also noticed, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, but for me, the thing that even still comes up for me, it's like this ghost of this goblin of Fat Keith past is, you're sticking to the plan pretty well. And it's like this guy that wants to talk to me that says you can veer a little bit from the plan. And that's when the veins go away. What the fuck? So what do you share with guys to help them actually, like, hey, you laid out the plan. Why don't you just stick to it? Because there's these urges to be like, yeah, but just 2 core powers. I mean, that's only 340 calories. Like, what the fuck is the big deal? 1,500, 2,100, what the fuck? And I get caught in that loop still sometimes. Even with all these amazing results, sometimes that still pop-ups.
Totally. So I keep it very simple. I call it your bitch voice.
Yeah.
That's the bitch voice inside of you. And we all have it. I still have it to this day. The thing is, we have to learn to silence that voice the best we can. And the quieter we can make that voice, the easier everything else becomes. And that's what happens. We start seeing a little bit of progress. A lot of people, if you're consistent in the beginning, the progress comes really fast.
Yeah.
But then it can also trick yourself to where you start seeing such fast progress that you can almost like let the foot off the gas a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just like business. Once you start letting your foot off the gas, things just start falling apart, and we can never let our foot off the gas. And so my biggest thing with people is, one, understanding the bitch voice and understanding that's what it is, and knowing when it's talking to you. Because when you know the bitch voice is talking to you, it's a lot easier to shut it down.
Yeah.
The second piece of the puzzle of that is actually creating a plan that's going to be customized for you and your lifestyle. It has to work harmoniously with your life. And this is where I feel a large majority of people fall to pieces. So let's go back to the jujitsu thing, for example. You let me know jujitsu is very important to you, but you told me, hey, bro, if I have to stop doing jujitsu to do this, like I'll do it, but like I love jujitsu. I don't want to stop. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We're not going to eliminate that. Yeah. Let's figure out how to incorporate this stuff and make it happen. Date nights with Jesse are a key component to your life, to your marriage, to everything. Yeah. So if I were to say, oh, you can't have date nights on the weekend, that's one, not sustainable. And two, it doesn't work harmoniously with your life. And if we start eliminating all those things and make it this very dreadful process that just allows you to really not enjoy any aspect of life, nobody wants to do that shit. So the bitch voice gets louder. You start deviating and all these other things start to happen. So it's ultimately creating a plan that's going to work harmoniously with your life that you can stay consistent to, but it also allows us to make the sacrifices and keep the variables controlled to continue to yield progress. Yeah. And that right there is really what it's all about. It's just having shit that's customized for you, for your life, that's going to work best for you. And that's different for everyone. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What are the things that keep coming up for guys that you work with that the bitch voice routinely says? What are the, like for me, it's, I can get away with 2 extra core powers. Yeah. They're protein. I mean, they're fucking, and they take like chocolate shakes. So I'm good. I can get away with, you know what? I know the PB and whatever PB protein shake down at whatever is 425 calories. My meal is basically 588. Fuck it. I won't do one of these meals. I'll just do the thing from the gym. Mm-hmm. And every time I make these little deviate and substitution, I go, are you sure you should be doing this? And it's like, well, but I'm getting such great results. Yeah. So there's like this almost deceptive thing that goes on with our brain about deviating from this. I'm sure every guy has told you about these things I'm just mentioning too.
Absolutely.
What are some other ones that guys watching? We have a ton of dudes that watch this podcast that are going to be like, fuck, this guy's in my head.
You don't want to be uncomfortable. That's the number one issue that all guys run into is they don't want to be uncomfortable. They can't push themselves through it. I always ask people, when's the last fucking time you ran a mile? Just ran a mile. Probably in fucking high school. And that was, remember in high school, you had to go run a mile. You're like, fuck, we got to do the mile today. Like, this is hard. We don't force ourselves to do anything uncomfortable as we get older. We ultimately just fucking seek comfort. And that's why you see dudes who neglect their health for fucking years. They don't track things. They don't exercise, and they keep the focus on business, or they keep the focus on family, which again, those are fucking priorities. Yeah. But you're not going to be a great husband. You're not going to be a great father if you don't fucking take care of yourself. Yeah. And the problem is we don't want to push ourselves through those uncomfortable moments because they're so fucking uncomfortable. But we also need to realize that you waking up fat as shit every day, walking out of the shower and not being comfortable enough to look at yourself in the mirror is the most uncomfortable feeling. Mm-hmm. So we need to understand that I'd rather go through this short-term discomfort of an hour-long fucking workout and tracking some fucking food and sticking to a nutrition plan. Yeah. So I don't have to wake up every single day and be completely uncomfortable 24 hours of the fucking day, not look at myself in the mirror, not see my fucking dick because I got a belly hanging over it. Right. And that's the biggest thing. And that's the number one struggle I see with people, is with men specifically. They just don't want to suffer. But we're men. We are supposed to suffer. That is a crucial component to us harnessing our power, because when we can force ourselves to do something uncomfortable without anyone making you fucking do it, is what completely alters everything. And that's what altered it for me. I come from a competitive bodybuilding background. So I had a goal in mind and I was going to do anything I could to make that goal happen. But I worked a full-time job. I commuted 2 hours, so I had about a 12-hour workday. I would still wake up at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning and go do my fucking fasted cardio for an hour. Never deviated from that shit. No one was waking me up. No one was checking in on me to make sure I did it. I just knew that I had to get that shit done every single day in order to keep moving closer to my goal. I went and I worked all fucking day. I'd come home. I'd still fucking go train. Wouldn't get home till 11 o'clock at night. Sleep for a couple hours, wake up and do it again. But what I didn't realize is through all of that, I gave myself an unstoppable fucking mindset, because I knew how to hold myself accountable. I knew how to push myself through uncomfortable things, even when I did not want to fucking do it, in order to get to my goal. And just like business, just like marriage, just like everything, when marriage gets tough, do you just fucking quit? Right. No. Yeah. You seek the guidance, or you put in the fucking work. You go through the tough shit to get to the goal. And like you told me this earlier, whether it's business, whether it's marriage, whatever, it's the same fucking concept. Yeah. It's pushing through the shit.
Yeah. Doing it because, like, deep down, like, every guy grows up wanting to be jacked and juicy.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to fuck the hot chicks. He wants to make a bunch of dough. He wants to have other men respect him, look up to him as a leader. And yet this seems to be the one that is, and being able to walk around in this body this last 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
like it has been such a game changer for my life. It's opened a lot of opportunities. People can look and go, clearly he actually fucking does what he says he's going to do. There's this discipline vein that people feel.
Yep.
But now that I'm walking around, I'm realizing it's more important than anything. So important, Carter. I want you to understand like how much this has changed my life. I know I've told you this, but I wanted to be on air. My son, he's somewhere between 23 and 24. I told all of them I have 4 kids and kind of like an adopted niece. So like I said, I'm going to forget all your guys' birthdays and how old you are and all this. So just know I fucking love you. And every day is a great day to be alive. And if you need anything, let me know. So he's 23 or 24, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, what's the one piece of advice you'd get? Like he just asked me this like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I said, get your body in as tip-top shape as you can possibly get. That is goal number 1, because from that, almost everything else flows to you.
100%.
Like, dude, the girls are like, he's fucking hot.
I call it the hard worker badge, dude.
Ooh.
When you have a sick physique, that's like you putting your fucking little Boy Scout shirt on with your fucking badge on your shoulder that says, I'm a hard fucking worker.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. I was walking down the street the other day. I was walking my dog and this old couple walks up to me and the lady, his wife goes, well, damn, you have some great muscles or something like that. And her husband looks at me, he's like, and that's how I know you're a hard worker.
Ooh.
And I looked at him and he was in his 70s. And I looked at him, I was like, that was one of the most profound things anyone has ever said to me. He's like, no, seriously, I understand how much work and sacrifice and dedication that takes. And guess what? Anytime I look for an employee, that's exactly what I look for. This is coming from a 70-something-year-old man from multiple different generations of me and understands the work and dedication and sacrifice that you have to go through in order to get that. And that's also why you would rather do business with someone who doesn't have their belly hanging over the table, who's not sitting there smelling like McDonald's fucking sweating when they're trying to sign papers for a fucking deal. You want someone that you know you can trust.
Yeah.
And if I know you'll put in the work, you're a trustworthy person, you have discipline, you have morals, you have work, that's the kind of guy I want to be around. You're the kind of guy I can trust with my life.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. That's so good, man. And one of the reasons why I'm so excited to have you on here, A, to thank you. But B, we're doing something together. And that is I want to offer your services to everybody that follows me on the podcast, that's on my email list, that works with us in Married Game, that has worked with us in Married Game in the past. And we'll make sure there's a link for all of you guys to be able to interact with and hire Carter and be a part of what he's doing so he can change. But for a guy to truly have game within his marriage, this is one of the things that I've noticed. And we've had 375 guys come through here. We have thousands and thousands of people that listen to this podcast. So I get a lot of messages from guys. And almost exclusively, not always, but at least 97 to 98.5% of the time, one of the things they let go, they look different from the time they initially were dating their women to now. And it's like, it's such a bait and switch. Because when Jessie met me, I was 185 pounds of tiger meat wrapped in barbed wire.
Yeah.
I really was. And when she left me, I was 246 to 247 pounds of polar bear pudge.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's bait and switch, bitch.
100%.
That's bait and switch, dude.
Catfish a motherfucker right there.
I catfished a motherfucker, lured her in with fucking all this goodness, and then said, guess what? I apparently don't care about this anymore. And so the concept we use is most guys think when they say I do that they've done rather than they just start in the start. They just are actually stepping in the starting blocks. And I think this is the same thing applies with the body realm. That simply you want your wife to want you, but is your body is the thing that you have 100% control over. Is it wantable? That's why I think what you do is so fucking important. And I can see why you get really proud of what you do. I didn't understand it until this last 6 months.
You know, so many people think it's so superficial. It's just about having abs and it's for some vain fucking reason. But what they don't understand is the power you harness when you have that physique. Me and my wife travel a lot. Any hotel I go to, anywhere in the world. I walk out to that fucking pool. I run that fucking pool.
Yeah.
No one will disrespect my wife. No one will disrespect me. I keep that place in fucking order without having to do shit.
Yeah.
And that's the true power. I've been in public settings where something happens, a lady feels very uncomfortable. She'll come up to me and she'll grab my arm because I am the safest thing in that area. And she knows if she's closer to me, she's safe. This is the power that you harness when you have a fucking strong physique.
Yeah.
And it's the same for your wife. Not only do you want her to be fucking attracted to you and not do the whole bait and switch thing, but you want her to feel safe. I'm not a fucking violent person. I'm not condemning or like condoning violence or anything like that. But what I'm saying is your wife wants to know if shit hits the fucking fan, that my husband can throw me on his back and fucking sprint and get me out of that situation, or he can handle any threat that is right there because of that. And again, training, jujitsu, you have all the actual things you need to eliminate a threat.
Yeah.
But how great is it when you don't ever have to eliminate the threat because you have a look that the threat's like, fuck that. I'm not going to go out that route because he's here.
Yeah.
And that's the fucking power.
Yeah.
And that is why this shit, I'm so passionate about it. And I've seen it work for so many different men, myself. It's that power, dude.
Yeah.
You create extreme safety in any situation.
Yeah. God, you're just hitting such a great vein right there, because what I've noticed is that you get instant respect from men. Instant. Like it's instant. It's fucking instant. You feel safe around the human being, but it's almost like it's respect, but almost like it's almost like they defer to you. Like you talk about how you're running the pool. It's almost like, well, even me, I've got my body in a really good spot right now, but I go, hey, listen, I understand I'm not in your shape. That's just a natural thing to realize. Well, this guy's at the level. You know what I mean? And so, dude, it's so powerful. And not only that, but for like guys that want to be good dads.
Oh yeah.
It's like, bro, your son's watching.
I want to take my daughter to homecoming, or I want to take my kids on vacation, and I want them to be like, that's my fucking dad. Yeah, that guy right there, that Jack dude over there, yeah, that's my dad.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy that my kids are embarrassed to bring me around their friends, embarrassed for me to be in pictures. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I want them to be proud. I want to lead by the example.
Yeah.
Because that's literally what this is all about. And again, talk about safety. You're setting your kids up for a fucking life of safety if you can set that example for them, especially on a personal level when we're actually talking about health and longevity.
Yeah.
If you can teach your kids these foundational habits of just eating correctly, exercising, whatever that is for whoever, it doesn't have to be weightlifting, but just some form of exercise to get your fucking ass off the couch every single day. Those small foundational items that you can teach a child will set them up for a lifetime of happiness.
Yeah.
You know,
that was also the crazy thing is when you submit to the process and the protocol and you get the actual benefit and the result, there's so many more benefits than you ever even imagined.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Do women look at you differently? Awesome. Does your wife look at you differently? Yes. Do men look at you differently? Awesome. The way you look at yourself is so fucking insanely different to realize most rooms you walk in, I'm the only guy with abs. Yeah. Unless I'm hanging out with my buddies. Like I'm talking about out in the public. If not, almost all of my friends, we all have, you see the Ascend pictures and it's like, shit, not everybody, but everybody's pretty much got abs.
Yeah.
So the world just receives you so much different, and you don't even have to open your fucking mouth. It says everything about who you are. I just didn't realize, I've forgotten how powerful this was, man.
Well, you know what's crazy for me is I started very young. I did my first bodybuilding competition at 15. I was a child when I started this, but I also took it very seriously as a kid. For 10 years straight, throughout my entire childhood, never deviated from anything. But the crazy thing for me is I grew up with that. I grew up getting the respect, having people treat me different. So it wasn't until I really started working with a lot of other men and I realized how different the world actually treats them based off their image. And then I transform them and then they get treated differently. I'm like, holy shit. And that's when I started realizing, I'm like, damn, I have to have a different perspective because I'm almost used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't really appreciate the power that I had because I just didn't have a different perspective.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I love, again, about just working with so many different people of all different walks of life and different accomplishments and things, is seeing the power you actually harness from it. And now I appreciate it so much. And I will never, ever, ever, ever let that power go, because that is the foundation to everything. Foundation to business, the successful marriage, everything literally starts with that. Because guess what? That's the one thing we can fucking control.
Yeah.
Is what we put in our mouth and what we do with our body.
Yeah.
And we live in a world where unfortunately we don't have control of everything. And then people lose control and they fucking lose their shit. And then they just go off the deep end. But when shit hits the fan, if you can still focus on the things you can actually control, it makes everything a lot easier.
Dude, you're so right. And what I've noticed, because a lot of guys are probably listening, and this is like, we'll call it Chubby Keith. Chubby Keith would be like, okay, I'm going to get up my power and go do this. And what I realized through all this process was the power actually is about a 2 or 3 day lag. Meaning if you stick to the process for 48 to 72 hours, don't deviate. Whatever that bitch voice is saying, to say, fuck you, I'm not doing any of that. Then the power comes surging in. And it used to be like a 4 or 5 day process for me. I would deviate and it'd take me like 4 or 5 days to get back in. But now I'm a day and a half. At 1 day and a half of eating right, lifting right, I'm back into my power. I'm back, like, I'm gonna fuck shit up. Let's go. But I noticed for a lot of guys, it's about that 2, 3, 4 day. And the power came after the protocol. It didn't happen before, because I used to wait. I'm going to get motivated. I'm going to get, no. Just do this and then watch what happens to your power and to your ability. Like, I do what I say I'm going to do when I say I'm going to do it.
Yeah. I really like what you said about the whole motivation thing, because to me, motivation is just complete bullshit. There is no fucking motivation. The only motivation you get is when you actually see that work manifest into actual results. That fucking motivates you.
It does.
That's when you're like, oh shit, okay, now let's go to that next level.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for some motivation to just even start your journey, you already fucked up and you need to shift your mindset, because you will never have that motivation. And guess what? If you have it, it's going to be very short-lived. So it's like, we have to understand that motivation comes from the work manifesting into results. And then that's what gives you that fire to keep pushing for the next level.
Yeah.
But you ultimately need to just fucking buck up, make the fucking commitment, put in the work. And like you said, give yourself 48 hours, 72 hours. You're going to be a completely different person that fucking quick.
Yeah.
You know?
I wish 22-year-old Keith could walk around in 45-year-old Keith's body. He would have been a very different human being. I want my sons to have my body. I want them to walk around for a day feeling like the fucking hot chick at the pool.
Yep.
It is the greatest feeling it's the greatest feeling, man, because it's all hard work. It's not, hey, nobody walks around with their balance sheet on their bank statement. Hey, what do you guys think of this? Nobody walks around and says, like, I can bench press this. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
And I see these guys in the gym, and this was always the thing. I'm like, oh man, I hope maybe I've been this guy. I can't be this guy. But the guy that looks the same year after year after year, and now I see him, because in this last 6 months, my whole thing has radically changed. And I'm like, I see all the guys that still look the same. And I go, what a tragedy to work out this much and to actually not look like it.
Dude, you fucking nailed it. And those are the guys that their ego is so fucking heavy that they just can't put that shit aside and actually realize what's going on. Because and this is why I'm so big about tracking data. Like, everything we do is tracked, it's calculated, it's controlled, because not only does that yield the progress, but that gives us the proof that you're fucking actually progressing.
Yeah.
We have pictures, we have stats, we have all the data that shows, hey, in the past 4 weeks, this happened. In the past 8 weeks, this happened. But again, you see so many people just like on the fucking hamster wheel. Every day they're running on the hamster wheel, but you have no data behind it to show that, hey, I'm actually moving shit in the right direction. And that's where everyone fucks up. Have the data. It's just like business. You got to have the data.
Yeah.
We need data for literally everything. You go to the doctor's office, what do? They collect data.
Yeah.
Go to the dentist's office, they check your shit, they collect data. It's the same shit with our body. Collect the fucking data. And guess what? If that data is not moving in the right direction, Either try something different or find someone with the fucking answer for you so you can actually get that data moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm excited this next 6 weeks where we're going to take my body.
Oh, that's going to be next level.
Because of what I've been able to do, now I'm really motivated. Like, bro, when you are razor thin fucking like adherence, shit really fucking gets wild.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I want to say one last thing on that is what I told you too, is I said, we have 6 more weeks left to make this last push. And Keith will never have to go through another fat loss phase in his entire fucking life. And that's where people fuck up too, is they get so caught up in like, oh, I'm in this, I have to fucking diet, I have to do this cardio, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But we need to understand is everything's broken into phases. And when we accomplish that phase, if we do it right and we don't fuck it up after, you will never, ever, ever need to do that again. And that motivation, you saw the results, you're not going to fuck this up.
No.
So it's 6 more weeks. You're going to be fucking stupid shredded, dicey all over. And then from there, it gets easier. We get to reverse diet you get your maintenance, and then you literally just maintain that fucking physique for the rest of your life. You get to be 90 and fucking jacked and shredded. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. That was one of the questions I asked you. I go, how are you guys able to stay shredded? Because I had a limiting belief that I thought I'm going to be dieting the rest of my life just to fucking stay lean. And I'm like, but you seem like you eat food.
I do.
You know what I mean? And yet you're fucking still shredded.
It's I'll break it down for you real quick. Little fucking lesson for everyone.
Let's go. Yeah.
So everything's broken into phases, okay? And ultimately, most people need to be on a fat loss phase first. If you're not sitting below 10% body fat, you should never be trying to do anything else except get under 10% body fat. Even if you want to grow muscle, our body works way more efficiently the leaner we are. There's less inflammation. The processes are more efficient. Everything's in a much optimal state. So the goal is to get below the 10% body fat. Once we get below that 10% body fat, we move into something called a reverse diet. And what that is, it's a bridge from your deficit, your cutting numbers, up to your maintenance. We make a bridge, okay? And so we gradually work you up from these cutting calories up to your maintenance calories. And that's how we're able to give you more food, do less cardio, sometimes none at all, and still maintain that lean physique. And then from there, it's a strategic growth phase where you literally just get to grow muscle for the rest of your life after that. And you get to eat more food and do all of that because you already put in the work. You got below the 10% body fat. You did the reverse diet properly. And at that point, it's literally just maintenance. As long as you don't go be a fucking asshole and go eat a fucking bunch of donuts every single day and just be a complete fucking dick.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
I love it. Is there any other thing that a mindset shift, one of the big mindset shifts for me that I learned from my mindset coach, Laura, she was basically said, hey, quit working on the flower. Let's attack the root. Why are you doing this? Let's get curious why you're doing things. That was a huge mindset shift for me, and it has served me well in every area of my life. She said, rather than judge yourself for doing this, can we get curious as to why you do it? That was really huge for me. But is there any mindset thing that you go, hey, this one seems to really help guys unlock this, whatever, or thing that they struggle with?
I mean, the biggest mindset piece, to be honest with you, is what I already mentioned, and it's shutting up that bitch voice.
Got it.
That is really the key component to it all, because that's the bitch voice that makes you hit snooze in the morning. It's the bitch voice that makes you not eat your prepped meal. It's your fucking bitch voice that says, I could probably get my workout in later in the day because I don't really feel like doing it this morning. It's what fucks everyone up. This whole fitness game really isn't that complicated.
Yeah.
It's all mindset. Got to have the right strategy and all that, of course, but it's all mindset. And once we understand what the bitch voice is, we recognize it. It's so much easier to silence it. And anytime you see that, you know what it is. Same thing you said. Oh, I could have this instead, and then oh, it's the bitch voice. All right, no, I can't do that. Boom. And you just move forward. The problem is people don't ever take the time to actually recognize the bitch voice and then do the necessary work to actually try to silence it and just push forward and keep going. And once you master that piece, this is a fucking cakewalk. Yeah. It's a fucking cakewalk. The bitch voice is always going to be there. You're never going to silence it completely. Yeah. But you can shut that motherfucker up, or at least know how to slap him in the face and say, shut the fuck up, bro. I'm doing this. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This has been the most enjoyable 6 to 10 months of looking like this I've ever had. And I've gotten, my abs in the past like 3 or 4 times, but it all felt very miserable. And like, oh, and there was a mindset like, oh, I can't wait to fucking get over this so I can get back to my old life. It's like, and I got back to my old life and I got my old body back.
Yep.
I was like, fuck, dude. So this whole process with you I'm not looking to get back to anything. There's nothing to go back to. This is me. And the fact that the meals I eat are like, I crave them.
Yeah.
I've actually got to the point where my chef makes me the same meal 3 times a day. That's all we eat. I just eat the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I love that meal, even to this day.
Yep.
After we hang out after this and do whatever we do, I'm eating that meal that's sitting over there. Yeah. And I cannot fucking wait to eat that thing.
And you fucking nailed it with that. It's all about mastering the daily habits and actually changing the lifestyle. And this is why oftentimes like guys will come and like, if you don't really want this shit, I'm not going to fucking waste my time with you.
Yeah.
You have to actually want to change your lifestyle and understand that you living the lifestyle you're currently living is why you're in the position you are in right now.
Yeah.
So just like you said, it's like you're always looking for it to be over. That's not the goal. The goal is to change the fucking lifestyle, to master the daily habits. And once you do that, you get so obsessed with that feeling. It's a high. It's a fucking high. And you chase that feeling of being structured, being controlled, seeing that manifest into results. That right there is the strongest high we can get. So like even guys are like, oh, like I drink 4 or 5 times a week. I'm telling you right now, when you start seeing the progress come like it is, you're not going to want to drink that much. You're going to want to have like a drink on fucking date night so you and wifey can have a fucking great time and enjoy that sexy body you just built.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's like you don't want to deviate anything because you chase that high of the structure, the control, the progress more than anything else.
Yeah. And
once you get that, again, it's a lifestyle. That's what this is all about, shifting the lifestyle.
It's fucking awesome. You know what I love about you, man, is you got good energy. Your physique says everything about what we're talking about. But you seem to nerd out on kind of the science of how it works and why it works and that type of thing. It's not just meathead central. It's just like meathead meets mathematician meets meticulous. Like what are we doing here? And I appreciate that. That's something that I needed to grow in, and to see somebody model that in front of me made it easier for me. Just like, oh, I'm just going to model that.
I love that, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And I appreciate that. And that's ultimately what it's all about too, is understanding that we now, at the time we live in, have so much data and information behind what actually works and what actually doesn't work, how to do things the right way, how to yield progress efficiently, how to use certain peptides or compounds or different fucking health optimization protocols in order to actually take your physique to that next level. And that's why I nerd out on that shit, because dude, life is about longevity. Like we want to be 90, 100 years old, fucking jacked and sexy.
Yeah.
And then be able to operate at our best. Again, it's not just about the body. It's about how your mindset shifts, the energy levels that change. Everything just starts to shift. You have more of a drive, your libido, your sex drive goes through the fucking roof. Like, all of these things change. And that's when it's like you're operating at your best. You're as optimal as possible. And that's where we want to be. Fucking Optimus Prime up in this bitch, right?
That's right. I fucking love it, man. Dude, it's been so enjoyable, this process of becoming the best version of me. It has, you've taken out all the guesswork. The fact that I don't have to do the math. I don't even have to know how to do it. Why would I fucking want to know how to do the math when I've got you? And it's been the greatest thing for me, and I am so excited that we're going to be offering it to the listeners here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be releasing. We'll be sending you guys, if you need to. So you want to make sure we're going to be sending it to the email at marriedgame.com. If you're not on our email list as of yet, go to marriedgame.com. We'll be releasing emails there and links. We'll also be putting it in the show notes. I don't know if we'll have it ready to go in the show notes with him, but I'll also be saying this. Hey, if you want to get jacked, tan, and juicy, click this link, and we'll be having all that ready for you guys. But Carter, this has been the coolest thing that's happened in my life. Seriously,
it makes me happy.
Yeah,
and I got to say,
I've done some cool shit, and this has been
some cool shit. But I do want to say I appreciate you trusting me on this process, because I'm not the only fitness coach out there.
Yeah.
You have a very large network of people. You have access to a lot of people. And the fact that you trusted me, I take that shit so seriously. And anyone that decides to work with me, I understand how much of a commitment that is. And you could have chosen anyone.
Yeah.
And you chose me, and I take that seriously. And that's why I pour so much into my fucking guys, because I take that shit so seriously.
Yeah.
And if you take it as seriously as I take it, we'll take this shit to the moon and we're good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And even for the single guys, you listening here, dude, just go get jacked. Oh, bro, you healed my shoulder too, by the way.
We did heal your fucking shoulder.
Yeah. So I'm modifying a bunch of shit, and then you're like, hey man, we need to get you on this peptide. We need to work this thing, ding, ding. And now I'm like 96%, 99% back with no impingement, no pain, no nothing. Even after this morning's beautiful workout, nothing.
Oh, yeah. Good. I was going to ask how you're feeling.
I feel fucking amazing, man.
I love it. And that's what I'm talking about. We have access to everything now. We have the data to show how safe and effective things are. Why are we not using them?
Yeah.
It's our job to take our body to the next level. And if we're having injuries, what can we do to either one, prevent them, or if we have them, how can we expedite that healing process? Yeah. So I can get right back to doing the savage shit I like to do, like rolling around and choking motherfuckers out.
That's right.
And that's your thing.
I love it. Hey, listen, guys. I'm bringing my coach. He's been my coach for the last 9 to 10 months. I've listened to everything he said to do 96% of the time, because I deviated too. And I'm going to up that to 99.5% fucking adherence. I'm realizing that the workout we did today, I've been modifying my workouts. Mm-hmm. And that's not acceptable. Like, I can't be doing that. I've gotten these amazing results, and I've been modifying your workouts.
Yeah.
What a fucking horrible client.
That's why I was happy to come out here and get my fucking hands on you.
What a horrible client who's already gotten amazing results. So, listen, the bottom line is this. There's no reason for you to not be in great shape in this life. None. And you can spend the next 4 to 6 to 12 months dialing it in. And I'm never going back. I'm not gaining any of this weight back. This is the new me. This is how I see. You've helped me literally change how I see myself. And it's truly become self-love. Like, I love myself enough to not go out and do that bullshit, because that doesn't get me any of the results. I love being fucking sexy naked. Yeah. It fucking feels so fucking good. So I want that for you. Carter Montgomery, where do they go? I want them to be able to follow your Instagram, and just so they can see all this stuff, and then we've got something coming out together. But I want them to be able to start to see you now.
Yeah, absolutely. So Instagram is at Carter Montgomery _ business that me and my wife run. We have a female component to our business as well. It's called The Ascension Fitness. We run everything through there. Check us out. Tons of great value that we're both putting out all the time in order to give you guys all the resources you need to even just kickstart your fitness journey, because that's the goal, is giving you guys all the knowledge behind this shit to actually take the first step, get moving in the right direction, and becoming the best you.
I love it. Well, guys, you know it. Don't be a nerd. Spread the word. And as always, keep crushing it, because that shit is contagious.